could not resist, so I had to look it up. From the Office of National Statistics, from a 2019 study, in ever-increasing numbers, we are now at a lesbian divorce rate of 72%. So the top 4 reasons that they are reporting getting divorced is feeling ignored, inequality in the partnership, adultery, and domestic violence. Personally, I feel like this lends some weight to men's arguments and complaints about how women are behaving in relationships. Because when you have lesbian divorce statistics that look like that, the girls are kind of telling on themselves.
Data coming out of the United States and Europe shows that lesbian relationships have higher breakup rates than, let's say, more formal relationships. Live-ins, domestic partnerships, civil partnerships, and now same-sex marriage have higher breakup rates than heterosexuals have.
The second part that's going to be shocking to you. Look at what it's saying there. Feeling ignored in the marriage. Feeling ignored in the marriage. You know all that stuff. Unequal relationship. The number 2. Unequal, and I don't even know if these are in order from bad to worse. Unequal relationship with one partner pulling the weight in the marriage. That's some of that, that.
I'm sorry, I know that I'm bad at this anyway, yeah, but what the is up with lesbian dating at the moment? Like, why is it like the Hunger Games out here? Why are there more obstacles than none? Are you all aware that our dating pool is this big? We cannot afford to be as picky as we're being. I've had all of one interaction with a girl. She asked me my star sign. I told her, it doesn't bother me. And then she said, right, I'm just going to go do a compatibility check. Well, I should have known then, shouldn't I? I was setting myself up for failure. She comes back very quickly, tells me we aren't compatible, and the conversation is terminated. Right then, right there. That's it. Like, I'm sorry, I can't control when my parents decided to and I was born 9 months later. Like, also, I'm not even that into astrology, but I'm massively offended that a Capricorn wasn't good enough for her. Like, what's wrong with me?
When women go, lesbians, stop putting your hands on your girlfriend. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I've heard too many stories from friends about abuse in relationships. And it seems like this behavior over time has become normalized in girl-on-girl relationships. And we just cannot allow that to continue to happen.
January 27, 2023, an article written by Melissa Kane Huckabee. And the article reads, 61% of bisexual women and 44% of lesbian women surveyed in 2013 reported some type of intimate partner violence, IPV, compared to 35% of straight women. Intimate partner violence includes emotional, verbal abuse, physical abuse, stalking, sexual assault, and more. So, why don't we know that queer relationships have such high rates of abuse? For starters, physical abusers are often portrayed as violent men. So, along with many other misconceptions.
So this is me and Janet Mock, and there's a story attached to this. So my name is Akila, and I talk about domestic violence in queer relationships. I was in an abusive relationship with a woman. So one of the tactics of abuse is destruction of property. My ex would constantly destroy my things. She destroyed my PlayStation. She would destroy my clothes. This is a tactic of many types of different abuses, mental, emotional, and financial, because she would destroy things that I couldn't replace or that were irreplaceable. So when I was in college, Janet Mock came and she was promoting her book, Redefining Realness, and I was able to get a signed book and take a picture with her. It was amazing. I felt like I learned so much. My ex, even though we were gay together in a lesbian relationship, did not like that I was around other LGBTQ folks. If I was around other queer and trans people, she thought I was cheating on her, and it would cause her to get jealous and go into a rage. Well, one day we were arguing about something I can't even remember, and she took the book that I got signed by Janet Mock and ripped out around a third of the pages. He did that because it was something I cared about. I still have this book to this day, even though there are ripped pages, because it's signed.
"52-year-old Nichelle Thomas was by her 38-year-old ex-girlfriend, Letitia Bell. The two had been in a 20-year relationship. The couple had been broken up for 3 years when Bell stalked and shot her in the head at a corner store in Brooklyn. During the course of their relationship, there was 13 domestic violence reports. Letitia is currently in jail."
Oh!
Do you think you know everything about lesbian relationships? Well, let's take a moment to challenge some of those ingrained assumptions. It's easy to paint a rosy picture, to believe that relationships between two women are free from the tribulations that plague other types of partnerships. This, however, is a misconception that we must unravel. Just like any other relationship, lesbian relationships are complex. They are not a utopia free from conflict, misunderstandings, or heartbreak. They too face the same trials and tribulations, the same highs and lows, the same joys and sorrows that are part and parcel of human connection. One of the most prevalent myths is the notion that problems in relationships primarily stem from men. This is a stereotype that not only oversimplifies the intricate dynamics of relationships, but also dismisses the fact that women too can contribute to relationship issues. Another persistent fallacy is the idea that lesbian relationships are immune to domestic violence. This is a dangerous assumption that ignores the unfortunate truth. In reality, studies show that lesbian relationships have a higher rate of domestic violence than heterosexual man-to-woman relationships. This is a sobering reality that we must face. Take, for instance, a case where a woman ripped a signed book cherished by her girlfriend. This act of aggression and disrespect is not exclusive to heterosexual relationships. It can and does occur in lesbian relationships too. And then there's the misconception that modern women, especially those in lesbian relationships, have it easy when it comes to finding the right partner. This couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, women tend to be pickier than men, and the selection pool for lesbian relationships is smaller than for heterosexual relationships, making the quest for the perfect partner even more challenging. So what's the takeaway here? We must acknowledge that no relationship is immune to problems, not even lesbian ones. It's time to bust these myths wide open, to recognize that every relationship has its unique challenges, and to understand that these challenges are not gender-specific. Now let's delve into the real issues behind the high divorce rates in lesbian relationships. Imagine being in a relationship where you feel invisible, where your partner's attention is perpetually elsewhere, leaving you feeling neglected and unimportant. This is a reality for many individuals and is particularly prevalent in lesbian relationships. Let's dive into a real-life example to illustrate this point. Consider the case of Laura and Rachel, two women who were deeply in love. They moved in together, adopted a cat, and were seemingly living the dream. However, as time went on, Laura started feeling as if she was fading into the background. Rachel was increasingly absorbed in her work, spending long hours at the office and bringing work home, leaving little time for their relationship. Laura began to feel like a ghost in her own home, her existence barely acknowledged. Now, this isn't an issue unique to lesbian relationships. People of all orientations can feel overlooked by their partners, but it's particularly prominent in same-sex female relationships. Why? Well, women tend to have higher expectations for emotional connection and communication. They need their feelings acknowledged, their thoughts heard. When this doesn't happen, they feel overlooked, unappreciated. But let's not stop there. Let's look at another example. Meet Sarah and Jane. They were high school sweethearts, their love story straight out of a movie. But as they grew older, their relationship started to crack. Jane was a social butterfly, always out with friends, always the life of the party. Sarah, on the other hand, was introverted and cherished their quiet moments together. Jane's constant socializing left Sarah feeling sidelined, her need for quality time unmet. These stories highlight a pivotal issue in many lesbian relationships: the lack of attention. It's not about grand gestures or extravagant gifts. It's about being present, being engaged, and truly seeing your partner. It's about making sure they know they're valued, they're loved, they're seen. A lack of attention can breed resentment, leading to a breakdown in the relationship. The neglected partner might seek attention elsewhere, or they might become withdrawn, their love slowly turning into bitterness. As we delve deeper into this topic, it's crucial to remember: attention matters. It's the glue that holds relationships together, the thread that keeps the love story intact. Cheating isn't exclusive to heterosexual relationships. It's a hard pill to swallow, but it's crucial to understand that infidelity knows no boundaries, not even in lesbian relationships. Let's delve into this further. Imagine a couple, we'll call them Jane and Lisa. They've been together for 5 years, sharing a life filled with love and mutual respect. But as time passed, Jane began to feel a void, a sense of dissatisfaction, a yearning for something more. Jane, unfortunately, started seeking solace outside the relationship. She began an affair, thinking it would fill the emptiness she felt. But the reality of infidelity is that it's a temporary escape, a fleeting thrill that only widens the chasm in the original relationship. When Lisa discovered Jane's affair, it was like a punch to the gut. The woman she loved, the woman she had built her life around, had betrayed her trust. the pain, the sense of betrayal was all too real. It wasn't any different from what a person in a heterosexual relationship would feel upon discovering their partner's infidelity. Adultery, regardless of the type of relationship, is a breach of trust. It's a violation of the unspoken pact that two people make when they decide to share their lives. It's not about the gender of the people involved, it's about commitment, loyalty, and trust. In Jane and Lisa's case, the discovery of the affair was the beginning of the end. The trust that had been the foundation of their relationship was shattered. Lisa found it impossible to trust Jane again, and Jane was consumed with guilt and regret. The story of Jane and Lisa is not uncommon. Many lesbian relationships face the challenge of infidelity. It's a reality that we must acknowledge. It's not about pointing fingers or assigning blame, but about understanding that problems in relationships aren't exclusive to men or heterosexual couples. It's about recognizing that love, trust, and commitment are universal values that hold true in every relationship. And when these values are compromised, the relationship suffers, regardless of whether it's a heterosexual or a lesbian one. Adultery can shatter trust, often leading to the end of a relationship. It's a painful truth, but it's a truth nonetheless. Let's remember this as we continue our exploration into the complexities of lesbian relationships. Imagine the pain of being attacked by the one you love. It's a chilling thought, isn't it? Yet it's an unfortunate reality for many, and not just in the context you might be thinking. We've been conditioned to believe that domestic violence is predominantly a male-on-female issue in heterosexual relationships. But the truth is, it's a problem that transcends gender and sexual orientation. Let's take a moment to discuss a hidden issue, one that's often overlooked: the higher rates of domestic violence in lesbian relationships compared to their heterosexual counterparts. Yes, you heard that right. Contrary to popular belief, domestic violence isn't exclusive to heterosexual relationships. It's a pervasive issue that's equally prevalent in same-sex relationships, and in some cases, even more so. Let's delve a little deeper into this matter with a real-life case. Picture this: a woman, in the heat of an argument, tears apart a book that her girlfriend cherishes. It's a signed copy, irreplaceable, and holds significant emotional value. In that moment, the act of ripping the book is not merely about the book itself. It's an act of aggression, a manifestation of hidden resentment, and a clear violation of personal boundaries. It's a form of domestic violence. This incident, as heartbreaking as it is just one example among countless others. It serves as a stark reminder that domestic violence is not confined to physical abuse. It can manifest in various forms, including emotional and psychological abuse. And it's not just men who are capable of such actions. Women can be equally capable of inflicting harm, as this incident clearly shows. This realization might be difficult to digest. It challenges our preconceived notions about domestic violence and forces us to confront a reality that's often swept under the rug. But acknowledging this truth is the first step towards addressing the issue. Domestic violence is a serious issue that can lead to the end of a relationship. It's time we expanded our understanding and recognized that it's not bound by gender or sexual orientation. It's a human issue, one that we all need to confront and address. Finding the right partner is a challenge for everyone, but more so for lesbians. Now let's delve into this. The dating pool for lesbians is considerably smaller compared to heterosexual relationships. This naturally makes the search for a suitable partner a bit more challenging. Imagine this: you're in a room full of apples, but you're looking for an orange. The oranges are there, but they're fewer and harder to find amidst the sea of apples. That's the reality for lesbians in the dating world. This smaller selection pool often means settling for less than ideal partners, which can lead to dissatisfaction and, ultimately, relationship breakdowns. It's like being forced to pick an apple when you really wanted an orange. This situation often leads to high expectations and pickiness, which are hard to meet, adding further strain to relationships. This strain, this pressure, can often be the tipping point, leading to a higher rate of relationship dissolution. The challenge of finding the right partner can add strain to a relationship, often leading to its end. Knowledge can be a powerful tool for understanding and change. Today we've delved into some critical yet often overlooked issues within lesbian relationships. From the hurdles of maintaining attention, the betrayal of adultery, to the alarming rates of domestic violence, these are challenges that don't discriminate based on sexual orientation. We've also addressed the higher standards modern women have for their partners, and how this, coupled with a smaller selection pool, can exacerbate the situation. These are not easy topics, but they are crucial for fostering understanding and empathy. And remember, these issues are not exclusive to lesbian relationships, but are prevalent in all types of relationships. The first step towards change is awareness. By sharing this video, you're helping to spread that awareness, helping to spark conversations that could lead to understanding, empathy, and ultimately, change. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe with bell notifications, and share this video. Together we can make a difference.